Hi everyone, welcome to English 102 Week 6. It's really exciting to me that we are almost finished with our course. I spent the last couple days looking over everyone's individual research findings, which are all incredibly fascinating. I think you guys are doing such great work. And I still have to go over your research essay drafts that have all of the information from your groups, but I will get those back to you today or tomorrow. So in the meantime, I would encourage all of you to look at the comments I've given on your findings. Some of you have more revision to do than others, but for the most part, I think we're doing really, really well. So a few things to keep in mind from week 5. We discussed in your discussion board using I and sort of personal perspective in your research. And although some of you noted that in English 101 or in other courses, you were really encouraged not to use I language. And so you get to 102 and you're like, wait a second, I'm not supposed to use this. But actually, it can be effective in certain contexts. You just have to use it sparingly and to use it to really distinguish your voice from your sources. So this is not an invitation to write your entire research findings from the perspective of first person. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that if you have, personal experience that sort of influences your research, it is okay to include that to sort of separate your voice from the sources that you found. And it's also a way to kind of increase your connection to your findings. And then just keep in mind that your working thesis is what drives your findings. So, you started with that research question, you answered your research question, and now you're arguing about that answer. So just don't forget that you're not really just summarizing the sources, but you're arguing something about them. The assignments you guys have for this week are short, but, still involved. Discussion board is going to be working on what we call an antithesis, which is sort of considering what other people who disagree with your argument might say and how you can address them. There's a group and self-evaluation that's due by Friday. This is to replace your group blog for this week. And then your research essay final draft is due on Friday. So obviously this is a short week. I'll do my best to get your research essays back to you as quickly as possible so you can get working on them. But please don't wait for me to start working. You already have an idea from your findings what you need to be working on and can work with your group even now before, I get your drafts back to you. As you're looking at your findings section, these are a few things that I noticed. Many of you might have revision necessary in these areas. So don't forget that although your findings section is in the middle of a larger piece, you still need to introduce your findings. So still give some context to your research question and where your research started within this larger social issue. Don't forget you do need in-text citations for any paraphrases and quotations. Some of you are really strong in this area, so if you are personally struggling with this, reach out to your group and see if they can help you in going over your findings section. A lot of you, I think there's at least several people in each group that do this very well, so if you are struggling, ask for help. Make sure that in your findings you're including all 6 of your sources, or 10 or whatever, how many sources you have. Include them all. Even if you're not directly quoting or paraphrasing from them, you want to give the list of sources all together that have sort of influenced your research as it's gone along. You want to remember that anything you've read up to this point still influences what you know and think about this social issue. So you want to include them all. And then don't forget to conclude your findings section. Your findings is not standing by itself, but it should, if I took it out of your larger research paper, it should have a beginning, a middle, and an end at least. When you guys work on revising your group essays, I have not gotten through these yet, but when I do, I've glanced over a few of them and some things I noticed. Make sure you're using subheadings and headings. If you look at the APA sample paper, that definitely will help you there. Make sure you're transitioning between sections. Include all of the sections that I put on the assignment sheet. So some of you started with just your group's findings, which is kind of incorrect. You still need that background, rationale, your research questions, your methodology. Make sure your call to action is specific and clear. And then all the sources from all of your group members need to be included in the references at the end of your research essay. They should be in alphabetical order, and they should be long. There should be many of them. All right, so some of your essays I noticed had maybe only 5 or 6, and between the 3 or 4 of you, there should be many more than that. Just another plug for the Purdue Al sample APA paper. If you're still sort of like, what is APA formatting? Although we've been doing this for 6 weeks, I know it's new to many of you. I noticed some of you are still slipping back into that MLA, which I understand, that's where you're comfortable, but you also need to be able to use APA and sort of understand the differences between the two. So use the Purdue Ala website, the sample paper, the template that Microsoft Office has. These are tools that can really assist you in your formatting overall. And finally, thank you guys. It's been so great really working with you all this summer course. Full disclosure, this is the first time I've taught this class, and I don't know if that is not surprising to you or surprising to you, but I'm learning just as much as you guys are as we go through this. I am going to send out a course evaluation survey that's anonymous, will not affect your grade in the course, but it's just some feedback for me. So if you do feel strongly about the work that we've done, something you really liked, something you really didn't, please let me know. I'm going to use that information in formatting my classes in the future, and I just really appreciate all of the hard work that you guys have put in. Your research has been really exciting to me. I think all of these social issues that you care about have made me care about them, and I think that's what this is all about. So thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you in the future.